Ascalon. Once the great human kingdom east of the Shiver Peaks, now it is but a shadow of its old self. Today we will learn the story of this once great nation and how it came to be as it is in Guild Wars 2. So hello, welcome to my channel. Here we learn the lore and stories of the world of Tyria. As you've already heard, we're going to be diving into the history of Ascalon, personally one of my favorite lore pieces in all of Tyria. As always, you can find the full lore on the Guild Wars 2 and Guild Wars 1 wiki. So without further ado, let's go into the story of the Kingdom of Ascalon. Chapter 1. The Birth of a Kingdom. The story of Ascalon begins before the year 0 AE, when humans spread across the eastern plains of Tyria. They had sailed from the southern lands, bringing with them the gifts of the human gods, wisdom, culture, and the power of magic. In these lands, they found fierce enemies, the Char, a race of horned warriors who worshipped fire and war. The humans pushed the Char northward and claimed the plains for themselves. By 100 BE, the settlements became known as Ascalon, and King Rurik ruled from Ara in Or as the first High King of humanity. Ascalon grew into one of the three great human kingdoms, alongside Or in the south and Kryta to the west. Its people were tough and proud, shaped by the struggle against the Char. Its soldiers were famed for their discipline, its kings for their iron rule, and its cities for their high walls and wide plazas. Chapter 2. The Great Northern Wall. Though the Char were forced back into the north, they never stopped raiding the frontier. To protect their people, the kings of Ascalon built the Great Northern Wall, finished in 898 AE. The wall stretched across the frontier like a scar of stone. Watchtowers dotted its length, and garrisons of soldiers patrolled day and night. For nearly 2 centuries, it stood as the barrier between the green heart of Ascalon and the wild north. Behind the wall, cities thrived. Rin, an important trade hub, bustled with caravans. Ascalon City, at the kingdom's center, became a jewel of human pride. The land was fertile, its people confident. The kingdom believed the wall would keep them safe forever. Chapter 3. The Rise of King Adelbern. But safety never lasts forever. The Guild Wars, conflicts between human nations, shook the lands. In Ascalon, the royal line fell into a crisis. It was then that Adelbern rose. Born in 1011 AE, he had no claim to the throne by blood, but he was a veteran commander, a warrior whose victories on the battlefield made him beloved by the people. When assassins ended the lives of the royal heirs, Adelbern was crowned by popular demand, though this caused resentment among noble houses. Adelbern carried the sword Magdea, an ancient blade forged in ore. He was strong, stern, and deeply proud. To him, Ascalon was not just a land, but a sacred trust. He swore that it would never be abandoned, no matter the cost. By his side grew his son, Prince Rurik, bearer of Magdea's twin blade, Sohothin. Rurik was brave, like his father, but his heart was softer. He cared for the people above the soil they lived on. Where Adelbern was rigid, Rurik was compassionate. Where Adelbern clung to stone walls, Rurik dreamed of survival beyond them. Chapter 4. The Searing. In 1070 AE, the Char launched their greatest invasion. This was no ordinary warband raid. From the north came vast legions, united under shamans of the Flame Legion. These shamans wielded new power, gifts of fire from the Titans. With this power, the Char unleashed the Searing. From the sky fell burning crystals that crashed like meteors. The Great Northern Wall, long thought unbreakable, shattered. Cities were engulfed in flames, forests burned to black stumps. The very earth split open, tearing the plains into jagged scars. The fertile fields of Ascalon were gone in an instant. Red ash covered the land, and smoke blotted out the sun. The kingdom was crippled, its armies broken, and its people left starving. Chapter 5. Prince Rurik's March. In the ruins of the Searing, Prince Rurik rose as a beacon of hope. He looked upon the refugees crowding the ruined cities, their faces hollow with hunger, and knew Ascalon could no longer support them. Rurik urged his father to lead the people west, across the Shiverpeak Mountains, to the safety of Kryda, but Adelbern refused. To abandon Ascalon was to betray it, and he could not surrender even one stone to the Char. The argument tore them apart. Adelbern's pride clashed with Rurik's compassion. At last, the king banished his own son. Rurik did not falter. With thousands of refugees at his back, he set out across the mountains. The journey was brutal. Snowstorms blinded them, avalanches buried them, packs of stone summit dwarves attacked them in ambush. Yet Rurik pressed on, determined to deliver his people to safety. The march across the Shiver Peaks ended in 1072 AE at the Frostgate. There, Rurik and his people were trapped by the Stone Summit dwarves. To save the refugees, Rurik stood against the dwarven warlord Dagnar Stonepate, sword blazing with fire. He fought with the fury of a lion, but the enemy's numbers were too great. In the clash, Rurik fell. His death broke the hearts of his people, yet it saved their lives. The refugees continued onward to Kryda, guided by his sacrifice. Rurik's sword Sohothin was lost for many years, remembered only in legend. Back in Ascalon, Adelbern heard the news. His only son, the heir to his throne, was gone. The rift between them had never healed, and now it never could. Chapter 6. The Long War. For nearly 20 years after the Searing, Adelbern clung to what remained of his kingdom. He commanded his armies from Ascalon city, the last stronghold still under human control. The Char pressed forward without pause. Rin and other cities fell. Villages were wiped away. Ascalon's proud defenses shrank until only the capital and scattered outposts stood. Adelbern's determination hardened into bitterness. He would not retreat, and he would not surrender. His people obeyed, though many despaired. At last, in 1090 AE, the Char laid siege to Ascalon city itself. Their banners rose against the broken skyline, their warbands pouring through the ruins. The last defenders of humanity braced for their end. Adelbern, unwilling to accept defeat, turned to his sword, Magdair. With it, he invoked a desperate spell, a final act meant to deny the Char victory. The magic he unleashed became known as the Foe-Fire. White and blue flames burst outward, sweeping across the city. Char invaders were incinerated, but so too were Ascalon's people. Soldiers, citizens, even children were caught in the fire. The Foe-Fire did not grant them peace in death. Instead, it bound their souls to the land, forever. Adelbern himself was consumed, his body destroyed, his spirit cursed to linger as a ghostly king in the catacombs of his own ruined city. The kingdom of Ascalon died that day. Chapter 7. The Haunted Plains. Centuries passed, but the Foe-Fire's curse endured. The lands of Ascalon remained a barren wasteland, scarred by red earth and blackened ruins. The Char claimed the surface, raising their own forts and cities where human ones had stood. Yet, beneath it all, the ghosts of Ascalon roamed. Soldiers still defended broken walls against enemies only they could see. Farmers tilled soil that bore no crops. Entire legions of spirits relived the final battle again and again. King Adelbern's spirit remained the strongest of them all, haunting the Ascalonian catacombs. His wrath kept the ghosts bound to his command, chained by pride and grief. Chapter 8 Legacy of Pride and Fire. The fall of Ascalon was more than the loss of a kingdom. It was a lesson written in fire. King Adelbern's pride preserved his honor, but destroyed his people. Prince Rurik's compassion saved thousands, but cost him his life. Their story became legend, told for centuries after their deaths. Adventurers and scholars who walk the haunted plains still hear whispers of that past. They find broken crowns, shattered swords, and ruins that remind them of a kingdom that refused to surrender. 2.5 centuries later, in the time of Guild Wars 2, the lands of Ascalon remained divided. The Char live and build on the surface, while the restless spirits of humans linger beneath. For the Char, Ascalon is a homeland reclaimed. For humans, it is a lost kingdom remembered with grief. In Ebonhawk, the last human fortress on the border, Ascalon's refugees and their descendants still endure, holding on to their heritage. The story of Ascalon is remembered across Tyria. It is a tale of a kingdom born in triumph, destroyed in fire, and cursed in pride. And though the kingdom is gone, its ghosts, both living and dead, ensure it is never forgotten. This has been the story and lore of the Kingdom of Ascalon. I hope you enjoyed this video. There are a lot more details in this story as well as a sharp perspective of this whole ordeal. You can find everything either by exploring Ascalon in-game or digging through the wiki. Personally, the history of Ascalon is one of the first things I fell for when I first started playing this game, thanks to all the details you can find in the plains of Ashford and across the other Ascalonian maps. And the book titled Ghosts of Ascalon is my favorite out of the 3 official Guild Wars books. With that said, thank you for watching this video. Please like and comment something you thought was interesting, or something that I missed. Also subscribe to not miss future lore content in this format. Now, take care, and I will see you in the next story. Goodbye.